So I'm going to go ahead and do a little book report on this. Cliff Notes, it's a separate piece by Knowles. Some guy named Knowles. Now, I'm actually very glad that I didn't read the entire goddamn thing. I didn't even really want to read all the damn chapters. I just read the one chapter. But it had the overall view. What's the story? What the hell is the story? Like, get to the damn point. What, literature? Only the motherfucking snobs, the delicate genius snobs can read a book and then figure out what the hell the author was intending to say. They were trying to say something to you, the reader, so you read it, and then you don't need a goddamn literary expert to tell you what a goddamn book says. Oh, you read that book? Well, you didn't read it right. I read it, motherfucker, so maybe the book wasn't written right if you don't think. So what is a separate piece all about? Knowles, this guy named Knowles, John Knowles, he's thrust onto the literary scene. This is his first novel, and that's the only thing he's really going to get known for is this book called A Separate Piece. And if it wasn't for the Cliff Notes, I wouldn't have been somewhat interested in it at all. So I may one day get around to reading it, and frankly, if a book is really good, it would have been turned into a movie, right? If a book is fantastic, they would have made that motherfucker to a movie a long time ago. So the general plot summary, I feel like I could probably rattle off. Let's see. Returning to Devon School, you got Gene Forrester. So this is the narrator, right? So he's using a different guy. These are all fictional characters. So you got Gene Forrester remembers his experiences there during the summer session when he was 16 years old. So he's going to prep school. The Second World War had just begun. Second World War, so the Nazis versus the American anti-fascists. He remembers that his best friend and roommate, Phineas, a.k.a. Finny, was considered the best athlete in the school, and that one afternoon they went to a large tree by the river. Phineas, old Finny, so you got Gene and Finny. Finny suggested they jump from this tree and land in the river beneath them. It was the first time that anyone so young had tried this feat, usually reserved for older boys. Both successfully made the jump, even though Gene was frightened after this first jump. Finny organizes the Summer Suicide Society, which devotes itself to initiating members by having them jump from the tree into the river each time he and Gene must make the first jump. But Gene never loses his fear of jumping. So Gene is always afraid every fucking time. They're having a Summer Suicide Society. They all got to jump off this damn tree. Now, I can see that, that's like a fun summer, sort of camp kind of thing, right? Isn't that a fun summer camp kind of thing? Yeah, and then it's a rite of passage, too. So, I've heard, what's his fucking face? Just do it! Just do it! Shia LaBeouf was talking about how in America we don't have any rite of passages. So, when do we go from boyhood to manhood? When is that... When Judaism, right, you got the bar mitzvah and shit, and different cultures have different things, but here in America, we don't have any real specific thing. We got to play chicken. We got to play chicken, with our cars, just like, what's his, fucking face? That guy with the hair, what's his name? James Dean. Is that what we got to do? We got to, play chicken with a car of another person until he drives himself over the cliff and kills himself? Is that what we got to do? Is that what we got to do? So you got Finny and you got Gene and Finny and Gene. And Finny is considered the best athlete in school. And Gene tries to compensate by being the best student in school. After a few weeks of joining all of Finny's activities, Gene thinks that Finny is intentionally trying to make him fail out of school. So damn, poor Finny. Finny just wanted to be friends with Gene. Gene's insecure. Gene's all scared. Gene can't hang out, can't keep up with Finny. Finny's a motherfucking, best goddamn fucking athlete in the fucking world and shit. He's jumping off these crazy ass trees. He's being all fearless, right? He ain't got no fear. Now he's going and signing up for all the damn things so that he gets to be the best athlete and the best student, so I don't even get to be the best student either, motherfucker. So you could just hear how this Gene Forrester, his resentment and jealousy is just building up and, building and building up. And The resentment builds in Gene Forrester's mind until at the end of the summer, when many tests are approaching, Gene must interrupt his studies too often to go jump from the tree. And finally, on one occasion, he impulsively jounces the limb, and Finny falls. Gene hears from the doctor that Finny's leg is so shattered that he can never again play any sport. He'll be lucky to walk again. Gene fears that Finny will report that he was pushed off the limb, but on the first visit to the infirmary, Gene knows that Finny has removed all suspicion from his mind. He trusts Gene. And then it goes back and forth, and then there's like this, the friends have like a public trial, and they say, "You're the one that did that, you son of a bitch." And then Gene follows Finny to the infirmary, tries to see him, but Finny finally doesn't have anything to do with Gene. But then Gene confronts him. "Why'd you push me out of the tree?" It's agreed that the act was some sort of blind impulse. Later in the day, when the doctor is resetting Finny's leg, some of the marrow gets into the bloodstream, and Finny dies instantly. And Gene Forrester didn't even cry. Gene Forrester didn't give a flying fuck at all. And that's it. That's the story. And I'm glad that I read that. I don't have to read the rest of all this. Character analysis, summaries, they always kind of tie it into Eden somehow. Somehow it has to do with Jesus. And Cain and Abel, I can see, Jordan Peterson makes a big old deal about Cain and Abel. So this is right there with Cain and Abel. And he acts like it's something about humanity. I think it's just jealousy as a motherfucker. Jealousy as a motherfucker. So, poor Finny. Finny thinks he's just, hanging out with his buddy. "Hey, I'm just hanging out with buddy. I signed up for all the classes, right? Now we're going to be hanging out all the time. I'm gonna be going to all your classes, and then we're going to be jumping off the tree, and we're going to be doing all the things all the time, and it's going to be so goddamn fun." So poor Finny just thinks, he's just enjoying the shit out of being around Gene Forrester, and this Gene Forrester is just like, "This son of a bitch. You think you're smarter than me? You think you're faster than me? You think you're better than me in every fucking which way, you son of a bitch?" No, maybe he just liked the playful competitiveness, playful competitive spirit of the thing. But poor Gene Forrester was just an insecure fucking piece of shit. And since he's an insecure, piece of shit, why not just say, "No, I don't want to jump off the tree. I'm afraid of jumping off the tree," right? But instead, he keeps going back out there and, he's afraid of jumping off the damn tree. He's trying to fucking study and do the shit, trying to study. And then you want me to jump out of the tree? Fuck you. I'm going to push you out of the tree. So, then what do we think about that? What are the wars going on at the time? So in a way, he had said something about he didn't cry because when when you died on the inside, you don't cry. But then, which could be true, or you didn't give a shit, which I think is actually more likely. The World War II was going on at the time, and he also said something about he had gotten rid of his enemy. He got rid of his enemy, so maybe that's why he didn't cry. I want to bring up 2 points. Remember the Titans, the movie Remember the Titans, and then Taylor Smith and Jordan Holgerson. So, Remember the Titans. The problem with this book, God, it would have been terrible if, it'd been better if you could, do a one-man play and act it out in front of me, turn it into a fucking movie. But if you're just going to be a stupid, shitty teacher and just hand me a fucking novel and say, "Read this, you son of a bitch," there's so much shit that was just one page. I only read one page, and essentially I got the gist, I got the novel, I got, I got what's going on. I read another one of the chapter analysis too, and they were talking about evil and something about the essence of vibrant life. So there's a lot of jealousy things that's going on. There's some yin and yang and whatever. You can try to sort of compare and contrast. But I felt like maybe I'll read into it if somebody else is, reading into the damn thing. I got the story. I got the gist. I understand what's going on. Remember the Titans. The problem with a separate piece is that it just keeps going. That was it. I mean, that's the fucking story. Okay, he was in a tree. Y'all were friends, and y'all jumping out of trees, and then he was studying in this, and then you pushed him out of the tree, right? So you pushed him out of the fucking tree, and he hurt himself, and he wound up dying. So, you killed your enemy. So that's why you didn't cry, because you hated the son of a bitch, right? Jealousy is a motherfucker. And sitting there pretending that you didn't cry because, goddamn, you died on the inside. You didn't die on the inside, you son of a bitch. You killed your fucking enemy. And so it's a terrible, conclusion for the narrator, Gene Forrester, for saying something like that. But with the Nazi Germany, that does make me feel good that we killed our enemy. I'm glad we killed Nazi fucking Germany. I'm glad we killed the fuck out of them, goddamn Mussolini and Tojo fucking bastards. I'm glad we killed, all the people that was on the side of the goddamn Axis in World War II. we were the good guys. We were, the against fascism, and they were trying to take over the fucking world, and fuck that bullshit. So it just sucks that, while you got heroes out there that's fighting this fucking war, you got this fucking asshole who's sitting there at prep school, sitting there declaring a war on a guy that was super smart and super athletic. So it's almost like the idiocracy thing. It's almost like the weakest link. How many times in the weakest link would they vote out the smartest person? The smartest person would win the first round or the second round, but then when it gets, closer and closer to the end, well, the other people are going to have to compete with the smartest person. Well, shit, you can't encourage intelligence that way. So you got a bunch of Gene Forresters out in the fucking world who wants to push, poor Finny off the damn tree. Finny just wants to goddamn be a friend, just wants to be your buddy. Sorry for being so fucking smart. Sorry for being so goddamn talented. Sorry for being so goddamn athletic. Fucking insecure fuck. And then now you try to fucking kill me? This whole story reminds me of the story between a true life story between Taylor Smith and Jordan Holgerson. It's happened a couple years ago. But one was 19 and one was 17. And apparently they had been friends for quite some time, and they were at Moulton Falls Regional Park. Moulton Falls Regional Park. I'm not even for sure which state that would be in. So let's check that out. But you got the, one's about to jump, and she's like, I'm going to jump. No, you're not going to jump. Yeah, I'm going to really jump. I will. I really, really will. I will. No, you're not going to jump. I bet you won't. Do you think you need a push? Maybe. I might need a little push. I might, maybe. How about a countdown, okay? Here we go. We're going to do a countdown. Ooh, that's not working. I'm not going to, No, somebody else jumped. When I get the confidence, I would like to jump. I don't want to hit the water too hard. I probably should do a pencil, right? So that way I'll just, fall straight into the water. So that way it'll just be a blip. You don't want to, belly flop, right? You got to angle yourself. Do you want to jump in head first? Do you want to jump in feet first? You got to make that decision before you jump. You can't just jump and just, not give a shit about the consequences of how you're going to fall. Or it's almost like the Taylor Smith thought of Jordan Holgerson as a cartoon character. This is in Washington State, so Clark County, Washington State. So you got, Taylor Smith, the 19-year-old, who's big. She's fucking huge, stout, got a big old fat, wide, squared face. And you got this, cute, more petite Jordan. So I could see the dynamic, right? Taylor, I'm older and wiser, and maybe you got some decent ideas, and then, Jordan it's jealousy. It's fucking jealousy. Fucking jealousy. Taylor Smith eventually is going to get convicted and serve 2 days in jail, and then have to do 38 days, work 38 days on a work crew. But when they were going through the trial, Jordan Holgerson had pointed out that Taylor Smith didn't give a fuck, didn't care about her whatsoever, just obfuscating, doesn't feel bad, isn't trying to be conciliatory, and is trying to drag the thing out. And they said, well, what do you think justice would be? And she, didn't know at the time. But, Jordan Holgerson said that she didn't feel that Taylor Smith cared. It was jealousy. If there's any, bigger goddamn... It's jealousy. It's fucking jealousy. Cain and Abel. Oh, what, God? You love him? Well, fuck you. You love him better? What you think? You think she's prettier than me? Well, fuck you. Oh, what? You're getting her look at all the attention you're getting from these guys. Look at all these attention. And then when she shoved her, one of the guys was like, oh, like, there's a guy that used to make the situation worse, and he would just be the oh shit guy. This guy was like an oh shit guy, but it's almost like it's worse than an oh shit. It's like you might have just killed her, you fucking piece of shit. It's not a oh shit, what's up now? Oh, what's up now? Like playfully, but it's kind of like, what the fuck did you do? Oh my fucking God. But they're all laughing about it, thinking it was, hilarious. I'm going to hear that Taylor Smith fled the scene. And, but then she also said that she was with her when they got her out of the water. So that's interesting too. And then she had a bunch of injuries. Jordan Holgerson, she broke 6 ribs. She had a punctured lung, something about hematoma, bruising, and then emotional trauma. So eventually she did do Taylor Smith did an interview with one of the morning shows, and she had said that she felt sorry, and that, apparently she had caused bodily harm, and there was emotional trauma, and that she needed to pay for the bodily harm and the emotional trauma. And so I felt like she was more conciliatory in this interview than what she had been, previously in court, because that was a strong fucking push. That was an evil fucking push. That's a I'm goddamn jealous of you. You're such a pretty. You think you're a pretty Miss Thing here with all the attention, getting all the boys, and you think you're a pretty Miss Thing. You're gonna find yourself a goddamn husband, and you're gonna go off and marry him, and then you guys are gonna be, and then I gotta sit here all alone like an old maid. Bullshit. Fuck you. How about I shove you? Hey, you ain't pretty now, motherfucker. Nah, you ain't. Nah, they ain't gonna be interested in you now, motherfucker. Sit there, goddamn. Oh, look at me. I'm all Miss Perfect. You ain't perfect now, are you? You fucking son of a bitch. Whoa, where'd all that anger and hatred come from? I'm a jealous, She was a jealous bitch. She was a jealous bitch. And so that's, I'm glad that she eventually did, accept her, I guess her penance or her thing, because they went through the thing and figured it out. And like, you know what? Jealousy is a motherfucker. Cain and Abel, you shoved the fuck out of her. You hurt the shit out of her. And I could see, somewhat Taylor Smith's like, I was just playing. I didn't mean for it to happen. But it did. It did fucking happen. And so no matter how much you could just say that you were playing and what the fuck ever, you were just goddamn jealous. You're all fucking around and you were just goddamn jealous. And so maybe if, at first they said that Jordan Holgerson said that everything was okay and it wasn't a big deal, and then eventually got into the court, maybe she wanted justice anyways. Taylor Smith, if you would have just felt bad and apologized and just said, hey, why don't you shove me back into the river? That would have been equal, right? That would have been tit for tat. I shoved you, you shoved me. Or something else could have been worked out or some shit, but I feel like Taylor Smith didn't want to take any goddamn accountability whatsoever for what she fucking did. And plus how embarrassing, and what was she trying to show off for? What, you're bigger than her and meaner than her and you're not as... Yeah, you should be jealous, because look at you, you fucking mean motherfucker. God damn. Strong push, and that strong push led to the way she fell. When she shoved her, right, she it didn't look like she knew how to swim or anything, so she didn't try to angle herself. She just like flailing through so her shoving her that hard definitely led to the way that she landed in the damn river, causing the fucking, you broke 6 ribs. Well, I said I was sorry. I gave a half-assed apology. Isn't that good enough? No, it's not, you fucking piece of shit. And I think 2 days in jail is actually kind of, that's kind of a slap on the wrist. 35, but it's just, I guess what, she's a white woman, so she can't get punished in our system. But she hurt another white woman. What? Okay, well, that's interesting. That's interesting there. So that's my take on a separate piece by Knowles. I got a couple other cliff notes here. Ellison's Invisible Man, Camus's The Stranger, Clark's The Oxbow Incident, and Fielding's Joseph Andrews. What does all that mean? I don't know. Apparently they made a cliff notes about him, so these are like famous, like famous books and shit. Maybe we'll figure out. Also got we'll do a book report on this, because I enjoyed reading all of them. At the end I don't know if I liked the story at all, but when I was reading them, I think I liked the last one best, actually. There's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Rip Van Winkle, and there's also Golden Dreams. That was a good book. Maybe Knowles can make a separate piece, turn it into a great illustrated classic. You need a lot less words and a lot more pictures. Jesus Christ. Shakespeare, you too. His shit wasn't meant to be read. It was a play. It was meant to, for you to watch it on stage. Read your fucking play. Fuck you.